Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, again, another interesting episode about interviews. I've got an interview with more of my friends that from the past, and we would talk about older times, different things about anime, and of course, some of the history that has passed along the way. All right. Before I begin, I'd like to remind people to go down below and click like and click subscribe. Even if you want to leave a comment below about this particular video and some opinions that you have, by all means, that does help the algorithm for YouTube. If you're interested in supporting me financially, I have the links for the super thanks as well as the PayPal and Patreon links below, where you can subscribe and get the special content that I cannot post here on YouTube. Again, there's a list with the link below of all the various different episodes I have for the History of Fan Anime, as well as the extra episodes that are available to the subscribers. And then it covers a lot of the content that, again, just YouTube just won't allow me to talk about. So, again, all the extra content is there, all right? So, in today's episode, we're going to have an interview with my friend King. We get together once in a while and basically go over different things. In today's interview, we can go talk more about that. Okay, so without further delay, let's begin.
Well, that place is cool. I remember you moved your shop 3 times, right? The last one, I believe, it was in your own building because that was fairly close to my office. So I went to that shop more often than the other two. The other two, bit off the way from me. I remember first the Trout Lake, then moved to Douglas College. And Douglas being a little bit away from me and difficult to find parking sometimes. So I went there last. I never miss meeting, a monthly meeting at Trout Lake. But after move to Douglas, I show up once a while. Yeah, but then when you move to your last shop, the third shop, then I become the kind of on my way to office, on my way back, I'll stop over.
Okay, so King basically tells us that he's one of my very early members that came into the animation club. Right when it was at the very beginning when we started at the Trout Lake Community Center, as well as he's been through the range of when we started the first, second, and of course obviously the third store. Of course, being the third store being closer to his workplace, he can visit more often. The other interesting point is that when I purchased my third store, he was the real estate person that helped me put that deal together and get all the paperwork done for that. So it was really nice to have a person on the inside to do that.
A modeling club? Okay, there's a little bit segregation. The traditional IPMS, International Plastic Modeling Society.
Okay.
Most people do like tanks, ship, aircraft, those traditional subject, cars, motorcycle. I can see over the time, most people are like a middle age, late 40, 50, 60 in my club. A lot of them are returning modelers. So, back in the 80s, 70, 80, when they grow up, they are into modeling. But once they got into college, dating, graduation, working, career, have a family, have a kids, they kind of give it up, walk away, and put it back burner.
Things to do, right?
Yeah, so 30 years later, kids grow up, move out. They are in their 10 years away from retirement. And some of them is just thinking, I'm gonna pick up the whatever I left off, 30 years ago, the modeling hobby. Yes, past a couple years, we have lots of this, middle-aged guy return to a hobby.
King refers to basically a generation of us, the Gen Xers, just like myself. In the day, we were very interested in collecting our model kits for, let's say, Gundam, Zeta Gundam, whatever. And then, of course, we got tied up with school, business, trying to do our jobs, and of course, in my case, run a business. And then, of course, we had our kids, built a family. And now we get to a point where our kids are just about to leave the house or finished high school or going on to university. And then now we can sort of get back into our hobbies again. And, I think this is a really, common thing that happens with, no longer the boomers anymore, but definitely the Gen Xers are running into this phase where they've now got capital, they've got their spare time, and this is their chance to kind of get back into those things. And such clubs like the modeling club allow you to do this.
And however, there's another side of modeling are more of Japanese pop culture anime-centric modeling, like Gunpla, Gundam model plastic kits, mainly offered by the Bandai, biggest hobby company in Japan. The reason is Bandai was smart. They hang on those anime IP. They own the IP. They own the Sunrise modeling studio, and when they produce anime, actually it's more of like each episode, like TV anime, each 30 minutes episode is like 30 minutes toy commercial. So they don't really care if the animation made money or not. They put on YouTube for free even. But kids watch the anime, say, hey, I like the stuff. So when they saw the model kits, they were gonna build it. So I noticed there are younger demographics modeler. They tend to kind of attract to the Gundam or Japanese mecha robot model kits. And I remember back in early 2000, the TV station has Gundam or Japanese sci-fi mecha anime, like a Gundam Seed. So those kids, 12, 15 years old, now they are like 25 years old, almost 30, with purchasing power. They will say, that's cool, I remember I saw it as a kid, so they are buying. So I say it's a very smart decision from Bandai. They're pushing anime, not necessarily for the anime itself, but they're selling toys.
Yeah. Another thing that I'd like to mention about what when part of the Gundam and Bandai marketing strategy is the constant re-releasing of kits, and slightly better than the previous, right? So it makes you have to buy it again. I've fallen into this like several times. Back in the day, I remember when we first got started. I was really into Zeta Gundam. I was more than happy to go out and buy your regular grade Zeta Gundam, for example, and I'd build that and have that on display and that kind of stuff. And then they go and create another version, right? They'll release it in HG, high grade version, right? And so there's supposed to be a little bit more detail, a little bit more maneuverable. Maybe the joints and stuff are a little bit better, and maybe they can even make it so that it actually transforms from standing mode into wave rider mode and that kind of stuff. So it actually has a little more functionality, type of thing like that. And so then, okay, fine. It's a little more expensive, but I have to go and buy it again and have that one then. And then they go along, wait some more time. And then they go along and they go, okay, no, we're going to release this new version called the MG version, or Master Grade version. And so it's like, okay, we made it bigger now. So instead of being like 144 scale or 1 to 100 scale, now it's like 1 to 72 scale, and they made it so now it has metal joints and metal the things for the fingers, so that each individual finger can now move, and that the wrist and the arm can now flip around and do different poses and are stiffer, so that the if you want it to be holding a gun, it'll actually hold that pose and that kind of stuff. So like okay, I have to buy it again, because you want the better version, better color, more intricate designs on the actual panels and that kind of stuff. So they keep doing that again, and of course now even like more time has passed, and the guys at Sunrise know they got you hooked. So then they go, okay, yeah, we're gonna make this new Zeta Gundam 2.0 version, which again now has more stuff and more improvements and that kind of stuff, and they really suck you in.
Yeah, well, I'm the victim of this kind of marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. So when the Zeta Gundam, I grew up in the late 80s. So yeah, watching Zeta Gundam as a kid. So when Zeta come out, hooray, got to buy it.
Yep,
so 5-6 years down the road, they have Master Grade, but this is called version 2.0, because version 1.0, it's kind of sucks, because once you transform into the Wave Rider, it's hard to transform back without breaking the joint and this and that.
Yeah.
So they improve a little bit that 2.0, fine, it's a little bit better, but the post-it is kind of not very steady, easy to tip off. So another 7-8 years down the road, now they have version car or version Katoki, right? The latest and best version of Zeta Gundam. I was like, shoot, gotta buy it over again, right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
I remember a master grade was what, $150 or something like that.
It used to be okay. It went up. It started from like 2,500 yen, like almost $25.
Yeah.
Now,
But
version Katoki like $70.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it's like crazy expensive because it's just like I know the box price says like 2,500 yen, which should be like $25 US, right? But by the time you add in all the shipping and all that stuff to get it over here, and and of course all these model places got to make their little cut, right? It's easily triple the price or quadruple the price.
And also Bandai is very smart on targeting the market. When they're targeting this old school guy now in their middle age have a good purchasing power, they price accordingly. Like original, like Universal Century, right? Gundam, Zeta, Double Zeta, whatever, Shells, Counter-Strike. All those kids, they price higher. So compare with, say, HG, UC, Universal Century kit, and say Gundam Age, the Age price for like kids can buy their pocket money or lunch money. But UC kid, hey, double the price because they know the buyer are middle-aged guys. Demographic, as my prof say, is everything from real estate to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff, say 20 years ago, 30 years ago, wasn't very expensive. People can afford it. But as time goes by, price drop. But after a certain point, it start picking back up again. And to a point, it's so expensive, it costs more than its original price. For example, cars, like the 80s icon BMW E30 M3.
Okay.
Yeah, in the 90s, the price dropped to the rock bottom, because all the new M3 come out 6-cylinder, it's better and faster, more horsepower. Problem is after 2000, so many kids grew up in the 80s, the original M3 being their dream car. Now they have the purchasing power to buy back their childhood dream or buy back their youth. And now the E30 M3 costs more than its original price, back in the 80s. So it used to drop in the 90s. You can buy like 15,000 for a decent example. Now it's like 40,000, 50,000 for a mint car. Then with the anime IP, almost I feel the same in a way. Like I remember back in the day, the Gundam Seed kit. For the old timer into Zeta, Double Zeta, it's okay. The story is kind of lame. They just repeat whatever the original original Gundam. But being 15 years later, 20 years later, now the Bandai start re-pushing the Gundam Seed again. Why? Because kids watching Gundam Seed, now they are 20-something, early 30. Yeah, they don't need their parents' pocket money to buy stuff, so they can afford something. So that's the thing. So then, I'm pretty sure some sociology has this type of theory. Everything has expire date, like us. One day we'll kick the bucket. So certainly it doesn't matter just car or anime or hobby or model kit. A lot of things we value when we were young. First time saw it, so cool, but couldn't afford it. Begging parents to buy it, parents won't buy it. Then we move on, getting older, busy with school, relationship, career, kids, rise a family, blah blah blah. Then we come back to what we want, sort of buy back our childhood. So that's the manufacturing company to get a second chance to get us, selling our youth back, They put this IP on the market, their movie, toy, whatever. But as each generation faded away, then eventually those IP will kind of lose value. For example, the old like Ferrari 250 GTO, which for the boomer generation, that's a dream car. A lot of rock star, like Rolling Stone, Pink.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
They all buy that. It costs like a couple $1,000,000. For 80s, my generation, like a late Gen X or mid of Gen X, our holy grail car is Ferrari F40 288 GTO. The old 60s 250 GTO. Okay, nice car, but I won't spend like $1,000,000. Yeah. But if one day, I win jackpot 70 million, a lottery ticket, sure, I'm going to buy the F40 because that's how I grew up.
Right.
I'm pretty sure by the time in my 80 and 90, my generation fading away, the millennial or Gen Z, they probably don't care of F40 that much. Yeah. Right. So yeah, anything you have to pick. First, they first come out of the market, people, wow, so cool, right? They fade away a little bit, 10, 20 years, they might come back. Because the marketing thing, that the younger generation kids, they're growing up, now they are in the peak of purchasing power, sell their childhood dream.
Yes.
Yeah. So, or some old geezer like 50 years old, 60 years old, buy back their youth. But when they fading away, then that IP might no longer hold. For example, like a Japanese anime from 60s, like Tetsujin, a big Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Thing. Yeah.
Maybe, Astro Boy.
Astro Boy, yeah. For that generation, like late boomer, early Gen X, they remember. Okay,
yeah.
They're willing to pay big bucks to buy those Choco King, whatever limited edition model, $500, $600, they pay for it. But I'm pretty sure the Gen Z, will they pay for that money? I doubt it. Because for them, it's not their childhood memory. They don't grow up with it. Some people might like it. I have some, in my modeling circle, like half, this young kid, now he's only his early 20s. But because he watched Ultraman in China, so he went back and found all the original Ultraman stories. So he likes the original Ultraman, Kamen Rider. He knows all of that. But he is like a real bird. Most people growing up, like his peer, doesn't really know about original Ultraman, or Ultra 7, which is 1967, way before they were born. So this kid is real.
Okay, so I hope you found that really interesting. And I always find it really interesting, to go and talk to some of the old people, because they always bring up stories that I sort of sometimes forget, or I don't quite have the exact wording sometimes, because I don't want to say something in regards to in about someone's story, when they can say it properly themselves, because I might get some details wrong or whatever. So it's always better that you get the information straight from them, as well as it's they always have some different perspective that maybe I just kind of forgot about, because so much time has passed. Sometimes I tend to forget them. So it's always good to to have a good conversation about that. Again, I will be doing more of them, so stay tuned for that, all right? So, until next time, I will see you again.